During the Cold War, fear and secrecy led to some of the most controversial experiments in history. Among them was a hidden program known as MK Ultra, run by the CIA. This operation focused on one chilling idea: controlling the human mind. Scientists and researchers were tasked with exploring whether thoughts, behavior, and decisions could be influenced or even controlled through different methods. These experiments were carried out in secret, often without the knowledge or consent of those involved. The program remained hidden for years, buried deep within classified files. When details finally emerged, they shocked the world. MK Ultra became one of the most disturbing examples of how far intelligence agencies were willing to go during the Cold War. It raised serious questions about ethics, power, and the limits of scientific research. MK Ultra involved a wide range of experiments designed to explore the limits of the human mind. Researchers tested various methods, including psychological techniques, substances, and environmental conditions. The goal was to understand how behavior could be influenced or controlled. Many of these experiments were conducted without proper consent, raising serious ethical concerns. Subjects were often unaware of what they were being exposed to, making the program highly controversial. The research took place in different locations, including laboratories, hospitals, and other facilities. While some experiments focused on understanding human behavior, others aimed to develop techniques that could be used in intelligence operations. The lack of transparency and oversight made MK Ultra one of the most debated programs in modern history. For many years, MK Ultra remained completely hidden from the public. The program was classified, and its details were known only to a small number of officials. Documents were carefully controlled, and information was kept secret to prevent exposure. This allowed the experiments to continue without public scrutiny. The secrecy surrounding MK Ultra was part of a larger pattern during the Cold War, where intelligence agencies operated behind closed doors. It was only later, when documents were uncovered and investigations began, that the truth started to come out. The revelation of MK Ultra shocked people around the world and led to questions about how such a program could exist without oversight. It became a powerful example of how secrecy can hide controversial actions for years. As MK Ultra expanded, the methods used in the experiments became increasingly complex and controversial. Researchers explored ways to influence human behavior through psychological pressure, sensory manipulation, and chemical substances. The idea was to weaken the mind and make it more open to suggestion. Some experiments focused on breaking down a person's sense of identity, while others aimed to study how memory and perception could be altered. These methods were often carried out in controlled environments, where subjects were observed closely. The lack of clear limits or ethical guidelines allowed the program to push boundaries that would not be accepted today. MK Ultra became a symbol of how far scientific research could go when driven by fear and secrecy during the Cold War. One of the most disturbing aspects of MK Ultra was the lack of consent from many of the people involved. In several cases, individuals were unaware that they were part of an experiment. This raised serious ethical concerns about how the program was conducted. The secrecy surrounding MK Ultra allowed these practices to continue without public knowledge. As more information came to light, it became clear that the program had crossed important boundaries. The idea of experimenting on people without their consent led to strong criticism and calls for accountability. It also changed how future research programs were viewed and regulated. MK Ultra became a turning point in discussions about ethics in science and intelligence operations. As time passed, concerns about MK Ultra began to grow even within government circles. Questions were raised about the purpose of the program and the methods being used. Some officials started to worry about the long-term impact and the potential consequences if the program became public. The secrecy that once protected MK Ultra also became a source of risk. Internal discussions and investigations slowly began to uncover details about the program. These concerns eventually led to increased scrutiny and pressure to review what had been done. The situation highlighted the challenges of maintaining control over secret operations, especially when ethical boundaries are unclear. MK Ultra was no longer just a hidden project, it was becoming a subject of concern and debate. In the 1970s, the truth about MK Ultra finally began to emerge. Investigations and hearings brought attention to the secret program that had been hidden for years. As documents were uncovered, the public learned about the experiments and the methods that had been used. The revelations shocked people around the world. Many could not believe that such a program had existed without their knowledge. The exposure of MK Ultra led to widespread criticism and raised serious questions about government oversight. It showed how secrecy had allowed controversial actions to continue unchecked. The program that had once been hidden was now under public scrutiny. After the exposure of MK Ultra, public reaction was strong and immediate. People demanded answers and accountability for what had happened. The idea that secret experiments had been conducted without consent led to widespread concern. Discussions about ethics, government power, and transparency became more important than ever. The program became a symbol of the risks associated with unchecked authority. It also led to changes in how research and intelligence activities were monitored. The lessons learned from MK Ultra influenced future policies and regulations. It became a turning point in how such programs were viewed. Today, MK Ultra is remembered as one of the most controversial programs of the Cold War. It serves as a reminder of how secrecy and fear can lead to decisions that raise serious ethical questions. The program has been studied and discussed by historians, researchers, and the public. It continues to influence conversations about intelligence operations and scientific responsibility. MK Ultra stands as an example of how important it is to maintain transparency and accountability. It also highlights the need to balance innovation with ethics. The story of MK Ultra remains a powerful lesson in history, showing how actions taken in secrecy can have lasting consequences.